welcome to my first Computer Sluggish Plus video. So today we're going to be taking a look at how our hardware is going to perform in Battlefield 1. So in the top left hand corner you can see how our hardware is performing. We're currently getting a solid 60 frames per second on our GTX 960, and you can also see how much memory Battlefield 1's currently using and how much of our i7-2600K it's using. So you can view all the system specs in the description below if you want to find out more about the machine that I'm currently using. So let's just go on to our settings now and have a look at what we got. I've just set it to the default. So if we go on to video, as you can see, our resolution, we're at 1920 by 1080. And if we go over to advanced, we are currently, where is it here? So we're currently on auto, and we got DX12 enabled, and we've just got all our settings on medium at the moment. So on medium, like I said, we're getting a nice solid 60 frames per second. As we can see, there's no hesitation there in frame drop, which is absolutely great. That is definitely what we want to see. So we're now going to mix things up a little bit. We're going to have a little play around and see how well this machine performs on higher settings. So I'm going to go escape again and go into options, and we're going to go to video, advanced, and we are going to change it to high. So it's now on high, and my frame limiter, I've got it set to 200. So, you know, we can have high frames per second if we want. So we're going to go back now. So we're not limiting our frames per second in any way, which is great. And as you can see, our frames per second have dropped a tad there. They are now at 55 frames per second. And our GTX 960 is at 99% use. So that is pretty extreme. But it's good, it's fine. And our memory, as you can see, our memory has gone up to 8 gig. That is using right now for Battlefield 1. And is currently using 60% of our i7-2600K. And the i7-2600K, it is only running at 3.4 gigahertz. I've not overclocked it in any way, so either have I overclocked the graphics card, but like I said, you can read all about that in the description below. The graphics card, the GTX 960, it is a Gigabyte. It's made by Gigabyte, and it's a 4 gig. So we've got loads of memory there, which is nice for our higher resolutions. So we've got 50 frames per second there, so it's still playable. It's nice, it's really nice, it's good, it is playable, which is what we want. You could easily just play the campaign there on nice high graphics, running DirectX 12. As you can see, when we are looking outwards there with the longer distance drawing, the frames do drop, which is obviously going to happen. But if we were to look behind, then we got a nice solid 60 frames per second. So it's just drawing all that background at the minute, which can make it drop to 50 frames per second. So we are now going to jump back into our options, and we're going to go onto our video, advanced, and we're going to turn it up to ultra. So we're going to absolutely max out the graphics now. Right, that is it. It is absolutely maxed out now. As you can see, if I go right, there is no other options there. It's all ultra. So let's just go back. And let's go back and escape. And look at that. We've still got a nice 50 frames per second now whilst drawing the background. If we look behind ourselves with less to draw, as you can see, the frames per second does go up, which is nice. So in little close combat situations and buildings, it's going to be a lot more playable. But I'm moving around right now, and it's as smooth as a baby's bottom. It is nice and smooth. I mean, it's dropping to 47 frames per second just then. But to be honest, you can't really feel it. It's still nice. It's really smooth. Let's just shoot a little bit. There you go. Wow, it really is smooth. How are we doing? Our memory's up at 8 gigs still, which is absolutely fine. We do have 16 gig of memory in this machine, and that is DDR3. And it's Corsair Vengeance, if you want to know that. So let's go ahead and go back into our options. There is one more thing we can now tweak, which you're probably all hoping that I was going to do. So actually, I'll tell you what, let's make things a little interesting. We're going to face this way first. And we're going to go back onto options. And go on to video and advanced. And we are going to turn up our resolution scale. So at the moment it's on 100%. Obviously, the lower the percentage, the faster the game, the performance. But the less, you know, the quality of the textures and that don't look as good. So as you can see, it says there, performance over 100% equals higher quality through super sampling. So we are going to boost that up. Let's boost that up to 135 now. And let's go back and escape. And wow, you can all of a sudden just see up in the top left hand corner there, we have just dropped to 40 frames per second facing in front. That's not even, there's nothing there for it to draw, hardly. So if we turn around now and you keep your eye up in the top left hand corner there, it's going to drop. Yeah, there we go, we're nearly at 30 frames per second, and you can definitely feel the lag there. And it's not as playable like this. I mean, some people, they can put up with 30-35 frames per second on their older machines, because that's what they're used to. But me, I like 60 frames per second, nice solid 60 frames per second. I'd rather have rubbisher graphics than have to put up with slowness. So if we shoot, I mean, it looks stunning. It does look good. Oh, I've just alerted someone. I think the mission's probably going to fail now. Right, so let's just jump back into our options again quickly. And we are going to bump that up even more. So the frames are really going to drop now. Let's crank that up to about 160%. And go escape. And look how long that is taking to load. I mean, I'm hitting escape and whoa, 20 frames per second. Can I kill this dude? I can't even get him. It's getting pretty unplayable now. As you can see, we're at 27 frames per second, and I'm struggling quite a bit here. 25. I mean, now we've got some animation effects going on. We've got quite a bit going on here. I think I just got that first guy. So there was another dude here. Let's just get him. It's quite laggy now. The response on the mouse, the keyboard, it's not great. And I've only got a shovel, which is worrying. There we go. I got him. Right, so we're just looking into the distance now. And it's at 25 frames per second still. Right, it's time to crank this resolution scale to the max. We're going to bump this all the way up. So let's just go onto video and go onto advanced. And we're going to go to the full. Okay, it's not letting me do it. 198, I want it higher. 200%, there we go. Right, let's go back. It might even crash now, the game. Right, it's just loaded everything. It's trying to decide what to do. What do I do now? Okay, let's go to resume. And as you can see, my memory, the RAM has just gone through the roof. It's going nuts now. It's going absolutely nuts. And as you can see, our frames per second, we're at 15 frames per second. We are really pushing my machine to the max now. I mean, 50 frames per second. You can still play. You can still move around, which is a good thing. It's nice. And as for the graphics, I mean, that looks absolutely stunning. You cannot get better than that. So, unfortunately, that does bring us to the end of this video. And as we worked out, you can play Ultra You can play in ultra, but obviously we can't adjust the resolution scale over 100%, otherwise your frames per second do start to drop. So if you want to play safe, you're looking at between high to ultra on the system specs that I'm running here. So I hope this video was good and helped you out. If you did enjoy this video, remember to hit the like button below and subscribe for more videos coming your way.